everybody, Gwen Lawrence here. Thank you so much for joining me for my Power Yoga for Sports training kits. Today in particular, we're going to be talking about cycling. And more specifically, this video is going to give you my favorite yoga poses for cycling. We're basically going to do each one for about 2 minutes. You could follow this video all the time. You can write them down, memorize them. If you have more time or it's appropriate in your training cycle, do them even longer. If you're a beginner and they're tough, cut them down until someday you can do them for 2 minutes. So let's get started. First one we're going to do is with a yoga block. And if you get really good at it, you can use 2 blocks. But this is a hip flexor opener. So cyclists known for locking in those hip flexors for long periods of time, sometimes hours and hours of time, which shortens the hamstrings, puts a lot of pressure on the low back. So we want to do something that's relaxing that can open up the hip flexors. So here we go. You're going to bend your knees, feet flat, lift the hips up, and put one block under the very, 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 very low butt. It's weird low. That's how low it is. That's the only way I can describe it. Extend the legs, and once you extend the legs, if you feel pressure in the back, then you know that the block has to go even closer to your feet. Okay, we're going to start the time. And you might hear a lawnmower. All of a sudden I realize there's somebody mowing the lawn outside, so bear with us. Maybe you don't hear it, that'd be even better. But all you're going to do here is relax and breathe. This is a great time to do mindful breathing, really letting go, releasing any tension, getting a little extra extension in the hip flexors. If it's easy for you, you could try 2 blocks. It's not really necessary to go higher than 2 blocks. But the best thing about this is you're doing nothing. You could do this while you're watching TV, meditating, just as long as you're mindful of letting go, releasing and relaxing. This is quickly going to become one of your favorites, I'm sure. While we're here, I want to add that I'm not going to do heavy legs with you today, but we have a separate video in the regeneration restorative videos. That's the secret bonus video, and that also is key for cycling, to lighten those legs, get fresh legs. It's a lymph drainage pose, so don't forget to check out that video as well. You want to flop those feet out. You could play around with bringing the arms overhead if you need to do a little extra shoulder opening, or you just want to expand the ribs and get nice opening between each rib, the intercostal muscles. So the more the ribs are open, the more you're going to allow more oxygenation into the lungs. Can't beat that. I end almost all my classes with this. I feel like a lot of people are locked in at their desks and they're having shortening in the hip flexors and back pain, driving a lot, and a lot of people are cycling these days. Take it as a little mini meditation. So you got 5 more seconds, and to come out of it, you're going to slowly bend your knees, feet flat. If you're on 2 blocks, come down to 1. Take a breath or 2, and then come out. Once you hit the floor, it's going to feel like you dug a hole in the floor. It's going to feel kind of weird. Roll it over onto your side, and then come up to seated for our second pose, which is amazing for cyclists. It's the supported fish pose. I'm a big fan of this. I end most of my classes with this. You're going to need at least 1 block. I prefer a 4-inch block, gives you a little bit more support. For this particular one, if you have cork or wood block, it might be a little dicey for you, and you may need to put a pillow over it or a towel over it just to soften the edges. Okay, so we're going to take the fat block, and it doesn't go jammed up all the way up against your back. Once you went back, you'll know that hurts, and it's just not right. So you're going to take it away, maybe 6-7 inches away from your back, maybe negotiable too. And right in your spine center, you're going to come up and over. And in a perfect world, your head will touch the ground. I've had a pretty stressful week, so my head doesn't even touch the ground. You'll find that this goes up and down. You're going to take another block and make sure your head is supported and not just hanging there. Okay? Non-negotiable here. I'm going to start the clock while you listen to me. is that your butt must stay down. Some people want their head down so much that they lift their hips. That's a no-no. Butt's down, legs are heavy, and this block is just giving a little extra oomph, opening up the thoracic spine, which gets collapsed a lot with cycling. And that's the hardest place in the spine to open because it's all attached to the ribs. Arms will come down. You can, again, change directions of your arms wherever it feels really good for you. And another alternative is bringing the arms up over your head, interlacing the fingers except for your pointers and thumb, and bring the arms all the way up and over. So rib cage, anterior spine tend to get really tight with cycling. So this is nice to get a little opening in the ribs, yet don't lift the hips, right? Keep them down. If you need more under the head, just do that, and in time you'll be able to lower it down. You could stay here the whole time. You could stay here a few deep breaths. Otherwise, you can bring your hands up, bring them down by your side again, always palms facing up. So another one, you just want to mush in and breathe. Be as heavy as you can. And focusing on your inhale being from belly button, sternum, throat, out the top of your head, like a rainbow over that block. And your exhale will be chest center, anterior shoulder, bicep, arms to palm. So you're opening up in two different directions. I love this one. Some people who have emotional issues or anxiety might find it hard to be open like this in the beginning, but you're safe. Do it in a place that feels safe for you, and everything will be okay. Okay, so listen, to come out of this, you're going to tip over, curling up into fetal position, and then when you're ready, you're going to come on up. Don't just jump up out of that one. It'll be shocking on your back. The other thing I want to add is this one in particular, and the hip flexor one that we did first, really good if you can get 5 minutes in there. Even if you're in your training cycle, this won't affect you in a negative way. Try to get more than 2 minutes, okay? So the next one is kneeling toes tucked. A favorite, not favorite, but it's a must to have that flexibility in the ankles, the openness in the calf, Achilles tendon, in the toes for more powerful push-off, and keeping that plantar fascia healthy. So we're going to kneel, tuck the toes under, yes, under, and your heels are straight up to the sky. Most of you are going to want to have the heels knock out a little bit. That's not good. Not only does it put pressure on your knees in a bad way, but it also is ignoring the stretch of the big toe, and I really want you to get into that big toe. A lot of you, this is excruciating, so you can lean forward a little bit. I promise you your toes won't crack off. And some of you, it's really easy. You're going to focus on being up nice and tall without overarching the back, and maybe even leaning back and adding a little quad extra hip flexor. So this one, really no need to do more than 2 minutes. Some of you barely will make it to 2 minutes, but really do your best. Those times when you want to bail out, when your brain's telling you stories about how you need to go do some other things and this is hurting too much, those are exactly the times where you're going to make the biggest stride, and you want to hang in there, find that breath and mental toughness, and stick through it. So we only have one more after this. Breathing. Every now and then I'll tuck the tailbone under more, feel those quads more, less in my back, more of my hip flexors and quads. Some people even go down to the forearms here, and some people can bring their head all the way down to the floor. It's really not necessary to go that deep unless you're naturally super flexible, because you know with Power Yoga for Sports, our philosophy is a perfect balance between strength and flexibility. Okay, coming up nice and slow, onto your hands and knees. Stretch one leg back at a time, on top of the toes, and just rock it out. Top of the toes, just rock it out. Okay, last one, but we got to do one on each side. You're going to come on, it's the face down shoulder stretch. So you're going to come onto your stomach. And I'm going to demonstrate on the left, but I'm going to start it on the right so I can talk to you. You are going to be on your belly. Right arm is going to be out to the side. When you look at your right hand, the right middle finger will be in alignment with your eyes. So your hand is a little higher than your shoulder. Be really specific about this. It's important. Palm is down on the floor. Okay? Once you're sure of that positioning, then you're going to rest on your right ear. Okay? And left elbows bent, left palm flat. This is going to be your workhorse right here. Bend your left knee right where it is. Start to push over and until that left foot hopefully can touch the floor. Okay, let me start the time and tell you a couple things here. I notice right away that my shoulder is tight too. Usually I can get both knees bent, both feet flat, and my butt flat on the floor. My right shoulder is particularly tight today. I already told you I had a little bit of a tough week. A lot of times it's stored in the neck and shoulders, right? So this hand is going to, every exhale, gently maneuver deeper into the pose. If it's easy for you, you won't really need this hand that much. So just take it one step at a time. I just got a back crack too. You're going to feel anterior deltoid, which gets super tough when hunched over riding. You're going to feel bicep for some of you. You're going to feel a spinal twist. And of course, chest, pec. All about moving in deeper on the exhale, never forcing. This is one I need to say you never want to do when someone else is in the room and thinks it would be funny to jump on you. Oh my God, even to think about it there. Or if you have a big dog who thinks it's fun to come in from outside and tackle you, it could do some damage to the shoulder. But when you're alone and you're very mindful in it, you're perfectly safe. You just want to make sure no one's forcing you deeper into this pose. Okay, slowly we're going to come out of it and slide that hand down. So my back is going to be turned for you on this side, but maybe you'll get a better view of what's going on. I'll try to shut up, set that left arm up, middle finger in line with your eyes. Not here, not here. And then resting on your left ear. Left elbow bent, left palm flat. Bend your right knee. Right elbow bent, right palm flat, sorry. Bend your right knee and slowly go ahead and tip it over. Holding here, using that right hand on the exhale to press even deep. Keep your left hand flat. Almost there. Manipulating deeper and deeper. Relax your head. super slow. Coming out. And bring it on up. So there you have it. There are many, many more great poses that could benefit cyclers, but if you're in a crunch, if you want to get something done every day, do those poses. The hip flexor stretch, supported fish, kneeling toes tucked, and the face down shoulder stretch. Do them shorter, do them longer. Try to get them in there 2 to 3 times a week. Be consistent, be great, and I'll see you next time.